Hello and welcome everyone to a new Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era video. Soon, it'll be 4 months of Olden Era Early Access. On this occasion, I thought it'd be a good time to overview the game and how it is. The game has received 13 patches in total so far, with the latest one introducing Poppy Jama's legendary Heroes 3 map, the Mysterious Island, into Olden Era. It is some much needed, fresh single-player content for people to enjoy. The people that have been playing it have been saying very good things about it, so it seems like a very nice addition. I've not started my Mysterious Island journey yet, but will be doing so soon. Throughout the updates, we have also received some good UI improvements, such as a snappier tactics phase, as well as the dungeon stance picker, and a few more cool upgrades. However, Olden Era has quite a few problems that don't really seem to be getting addressed in a good meantime, so let's talk about them. The damage formula in this game does not make any sense. It seems that there's no in-between for one-shotting everything or stacking up enough modifiers to where you're basically immortal. The moment that you get a few of these modifiers, that you will be able to find plenty of from items, laws, and secondary skills, the primary stats feel like they take a backseat and become completely irrelevant, which is very contrary to the spirit of all the beloved Heroes of Might and Magic games. The damage in the game is also completely overtuned, where fights usually are decided by who has more initiative to fire their infinity damage laser first, rather than being a strategic back and forth as the legendary predecessor games have been. The game is not snappy whatsoever. A big advantage of a turn-based game is the fact that latency should not be a problem. Somehow, a big innovation the game has made is making the game really laggy and unstable. This is not the baseline, and currently, I don't think this heavy of a cost is worthy of any feature. The talk between some people that know the game better is that the lag is caused by the anti-cheat solution. Considering the fact that most cheating bans happen with manual reports, manual reviews, and manual bans, I do not see why we should pay that price and have a game that most often feels tedious to play whenever you have many inputs to make. It is a shame seeing indie real-time strategy games getting this better than the ambitious, spiritual successor to Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Also, there's the fact that this makes playing the game for people outside of Europe nearly unbearable. The Asian parts of the community have repeatedly reported that the game is currently unplayable for them. Most people are not willing to jump into a 250 plus ping game, so they are just left unable to even start a game. On the rare occasion that they do, the game feels very bad as every input is massively delayed. This is completely unacceptable for a turn-based game. The ladder is also a complete mess. The system right now is inherently inflationary as points are being printed out of thin air on a regular basis due to the demotion prevention. Also, you gain and lose the same amount of rating no matter the difference in ranking between you and the opponent, making queuing into high-level opponents feel very unrewarding. But don't worry, they solved it by accelerating the top players' points so high they are literally unable to queue into anyone else but the other player between the top two. Here is easy-to-use magistry for reference. The very least they can do while having a system so flawed is make the matchmaking ladder position based, so the game is playable by the players committed to the game the most. The game is completely infested by bugs. Many of the skills and abilities do not do what they intend to do. Battlecraft's sub-skill Battle Focus has been bugged since its inception and is giving a focus charge on the first turn despite explicitly stating that it should not. Most of the other focus charge interactions are the same. The Temple Law that gives status immunity to units on native terrain does not work either and is giving the immunity on all terrains. The players, myself included, are confused how to even behave. They're willing to ban people for exploiting these bugs, which is basically just clicking on the law, but are completely unwilling to take a moment to fix it. The worst part is whenever a fix for a random specific thing does get through, because it generated enough outrage by the community, there always seems to be a bug or two extra added. For months, the nerf to massively overpowered righteousness subskill Chosen One was actually just a tooltip change and the ability itself remained unchanged. Same goes for the Temporal Sphere. The spell was nerfed from true damage to magic damage but on tooltip only for months. All these issues are repeatedly reported by the players, some even years back by the beta testers. I cannot imagine it's that hard to go through and clean the game some. At most, we see one bug fix per monthly patch. At this rate, we'll enjoy bugless Olden Era by 2050. The items in this game also don't really make sense. We have got many new cool ways to scale certain effects such as morale, luck, base damage and other features that used to be mainly baseline. This has made some items mandatory for certain situations, while getting them is completely up in the air. In many cases, you can almost double the damage that you deal with a simple item such as Drums of War. That goes into a miscellaneous slot, meaning that you can get many of them and the opportunity cost is super low. Due to this, many games ends up as who rolled better items on their map roulette. The fact that some items completely disable parts of the game with very low opportunity cost also seems like bad game design. A player can pick a hero like Eos, take morale skills, and scale the morale skill very far, only for it to be countered completely in a single uncommon item, Monster Head. Really makes you wonder why we got these new scaling options in the first place. The most problematic items are Tactical Guide, that disables tactics, Ring of Neutrality, that disables luck, Monster Head, that disables morale, and there's many more. When observing the game as a daily, high-level ladder player, all of these problems are plain to see, and it feels like every individual small problem is not hard to fix, yet developers, patch after patch, report after report, seem to be unable or unwilling to make the game better. It seems damage control is their primary focus, as within the discussions, there's always one of many community moderators that has a reason or an excuse for why these things are not addressed. The community, as I see it, is growing uneasy with the lack of progress or accountability for the lack of progress to getting the game to a good playable state. I understand features, content, and other high-scale things take time, but it doesn't serve as an excuse for either the lack of awareness or the complete incompetence that has led us to the high level of unrest within the community so far. It doesn't help that the balanced lead designer, Grostex, is always ready to mishandle some arbitrary statistics rather than do some actual analysis. In the latest patch, we have some gems such as Temple is weak late game. The high level consensus is that Temple is weak early game, good late game. We have buffed Scorpions by giving them 2 initiative at the cost of a massive 5 HP. This is a change at best, but most agree this is a nerf. This should give you a sense for the balanced designer's game awareness. Despite all of this, I still do play Olden Era every single day and enjoy my time there. The game feels good when one of the many things that could go wrong doesn't. I wish that could be every game, with more receptiveness to feedback and actions towards making the game better. This is the first time in a long time that a game has rivaled Heroes of Might and Magic 3 in its enjoyment and replayability. It's painful to see the trajectory of the game, and I hope Unfrozen can involve some people that care to look and understand the game they have made and make it the best version of what it could possibly be. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next, hopefully way more optimistic video. Goodbye!